Welcome to the Performance Matters Podcast with your hosts, Matrix Ferreira and Miles Methner, brought to you by Iron Performance Center.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Performance Matters Podcast. Matrix and across me, Coach Miles, as always, back with you with another episode. First, big shout out to our sponsor, Pete Methner Photography, the premier sportographer in the Niagara region. You can contact him, www.petemethodphotography.com. As always, support local. A couple big things coming up. As we're in the spring season, a lot of sports and playoffs are either wrapped up or currently wrapping up. I know hockey has a couple of things left to do, but many of our sports are now entering their off-season period. So, a couple of things. First off, for our volleyball players who are associated with Niagara Rapids or the Niagara Athletics Volleyball Club, if you guys are on the list, you guys would have got emails for our summer volleyball program, our 12-week program that kicks off on June 1st. Be aware that spots are limited, so it's first come, first train. But registration is now open for that, and we'll also make that a public post coming up in the next week or so. So keep an eye on your inboxes if you haven't been on the list. Otherwise, check social media and you will see that announcement. And then same thing for our returning college university athletes. We have our varsity off-season package that is now being open for registration as well. So you should have received an email. Guys, check your junk and spam folders because I know how emails can be sometimes. So just check all your folders for an email from us. And you'll see that the varsity off-season package is in your inbox, okay? And you'll also probably get text reminders. So yeah, again, we have spots limited for that as well. That kicks off end of April. If you're returning earlier, just let us know, and we can set that up for you, okay? But again, we're looking forward to a very productive off-season as always. It's a great environment, great training partners. Everyone's getting after it. It really is a bunch of just summer dogs that are coming home and getting to work, right? So keep an eye on your inboxes, and of course, check your junk and spam folders as always. So, saying that, interesting conversation came up today. We were talking about calories, right? Someone's like, well, I'm going into a deficit, cutting down the calories on a daily intake level to whatever the amount was. So we're going to a caloric deficit by their standard. And the question was, well, should I, when I'm doing my weights and lifting and everything else like that, should I maintain or should I grow? Try to I guess load it up heavier. What are your initial thoughts on that comment? Because that's pretty common, honestly. People have that kind of question in their mind.
Yeah, super common, especially this time of year. Anywhere from honestly December through until now, because they say summer's coming. Want to get the summer body.
Beach body.
People have called it that winter arc now, which. Honestly, I don't hate, I guess. It's like, if whatever you find motivation in is cool, as long as it's healthy. But the first problem I got to say is with the whole calorie math thing is how flawed we know it is. So these food brands are allowed to have a bit of wiggle room when they put the calories on the side of the package in the first place. So a lot of time you might see I don't know what comes to mind, 4 Oreos is 150 calories, whatever the hell that number is. That number is probably not even accurate. Okay, first things first, that number is probably not even accurate within 30 calories plus or minus whatever it tells you on the bag. So a lot of time, I know we should be sticking to whole foods and real foods primarily anyways, but I'm just making a point. When you see a lot of these, different packaged foods you might be eating, it might be a protein bar, right? You're trying to be a little healthier or whatever it might be. The problem is people with these good intentions will sit down and they'll take everything they ate for the day and they'll write down, or they put in their MyFitnessPal or whatever app they have, and they say, okay, they scan the label, here's how many calories I ate, here's how many calories I think I burned, which again might be coming from your Apple Watch, which is also really not accurate. And then they'll try to do the math. And I bring it up because it's well-intentioned, but it makes people very neurotic at times. And then they kind of end up getting disappointed when they think, I'm doing everything right and I'm doing the math and it's not working.
Yeah. So
first things first, that's why I like a little bit more of an approach like precision nutrition, where you'll use the different, the hand portions, for example, that, again, by their own admission, it's not perfect, but it's not meant to be. Because a lot of this calorie math is not perfect anyway. Right? Also depends, too, a lot of these foods pre or post cooking them. Right? A lot of people do I weigh the chicken before I cook it or after? Do I, it gets a little bit crazy. So first of all, I would say those are a good guide. A lot of these calorie counting methods, I would just be careful, becoming married to them because again, people don't know exactly how many calories they're eating. They don't know exactly how many calories they're burning. They don't know their exact basal metabolic rate, which again, for those who don't know, that's essentially the calorie cost, what your body burns just to stay alive, to keep the lights on. I like how Aiden said that the other day, just to keep the lights on. So in a perfect world, yes, you could get your basal metabolic rate. You could see how many calories you burn from training and from non-exercise activity. You could do the math on what you eat and find out the difference. And the golden rule they say is, okay, 500 calories less per day than my maintenance level, I'm gonna lose fat. In a perfect world, that's nice because that's how we like to think, but it's really not that perfect. So first thing I would say, my gut reaction, I think is what you said. What's my gut reaction? Be careful becoming so married to counting these calories and stuff that it becomes like a full-time job, right? So I would first things first try to find ways to measure what you're eating and monitor what you're eating and keep journals. Yes, totally, but use it as more of like a guideline than like a hard and fast rule.
Yeah, I think it's a funny paradox, really, because there's so many humans are so unpredictable and physiology is so individual and so unique. Some people have different resting metabolic rates,
which will change over time too. If you're in a big cut for
yeah,
let's say 2-3 months, like that number's probably going to change as you go anyway.
It fluctuates so much. So a lot of these, recommendations and things are based on biochemistry, and it makes sense, right? A calorie is how much energy it takes to raise a liter of water 1 degree Celsius higher, right? So like these are all like it's thermodynamics, it's biochemistry. All those things are rooted in science. Now to apply it to human physiology in terms of like the long-term effects, it's so unpredictable now. So a lot of them like, okay, here's the science, and you're trying to almost set guardrails to then lead to something that's sustainable on that path. I know there's people that have like calorie counting in their mind. And again, if that works for you, phenomenal. But again, if you're getting to the point where it's so neurotic that it's stressing you out, it's like, well, remember stress and hormones and everything else that comes along with that. It puts your body in a different state that also ironically wants to conserve energy, right? That's kind of what it does. So it's just funny that people can stress about this so much. That's actually hindering them because they didn't hit their calorie count, or they're stressing about hitting their calorie count.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. I learned this term this week. The kids say your cortisol maxing. The kids would say.
It's just,
some cortisol is good, but like too much, now you're in that stressful zone. Maybe you're not burning as many calories as you thought anyway. It's because you're stressed about not burning calories. It's like
it's ironic. Yeah, it's
just feedback loop.
It's a very ironic situation. So I think I would just say for things like that, it's like and to be honest, I think you can't, like, in terms of that question being like, should I maintain or should I continue to gain? Physically, it's like, well, if let's just use the metric of like, max out lift. I'm assuming that's kind of the goal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, I want to add more, weight to my squat or whatever that is. Well, physics being physics, mass is going to be gas, right? The more body mass you have, the more power output you probably have to accelerate the bar up in the direction you need to go. So mass is going to be gas. Doesn't mean you can't later, but that's just the physics standpoint. The more weight you have on you, the more likely you're probably to lift, right? But now if the goal is to lose weight, particularly fat mass.
That's the key right there.
Right, fat mass, it's going to be, well, I'm not saying you can't, but again, it's going to depend on the composition of the tissue itself.
And the training program you're on, of course.
And the training program you're on, right? So like you say let's say you're in a caloric deficit and the scale stays the same, but you lost fat mass, right? Maybe tissue mass got leaner or got bigger. It's like, okay, great. Like it really is such a fine balance. Yes, you're in a caloric deficit, right? So it's harder to gain mass if you're in a caloric deficit, right? It doesn't work that way because you need calories to actually add tissue. But the innervation of the tissue, right? Whatever tissue you have, it could be optimized. So it's like it
could still improve.
It could still improve just from the innervation and the rate coding of it. So it's kind of like there's not really a specific answer to that question. But then I would just take a step back and be like, well, what is the North Star? It's like, okay, well, you're trying to lose fat mass. So then by default, it's like you want to keep seeing progress in the gym, of course, but the North Star has to be the North Star, right? You can chase 2 rabbits, right? But for this example, like, let's just, chase 2 rabbits, but be okay catching the main one. You know what I mean?
What would Paul would say? You only got one ass, you can only ride 1 horse.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So put simply, it's going to be like, well, the advice I gave was whatever you can do in the gym, like whatever the prescription is for the day, it's like just give it your best shot. Give everything you have to it. The difference is going to be make peace with if it's not the records that you had before. That's okay. That's not the point, right? But like that's going to be your new baseline. Whatever the prescription is today, it's like great. Guess what your time is next time. See if you can match or beat it again. If you can't, make peace with that because at the end of the day, that's not the main focus right now. The main focus is fat mass. Is that improving? Yes. Then that's your North Star, right? That's your North Star for now. And to put it even simpler, it's like don't be so caught up, like you said before, with those constraints you're putting on yourself for calories because again, you can't. It's not specifically measurable for you. It's not going to be accurate enough. And then if you're going to stress over it, it's ironic. And I use a metaphor where to like to do the simplest thing. I said, it's really just going to be the consistency of how simple you can make something better, right? And not think too far ahead. It sounds counterintuitive, but the example I used was the new guy in high school who just liked to paint, right?
Yeah.
This guy liked to paint.
Just like a hobby, yeah.
Just a hobby. He liked to paint, right? And then whatever it was, like, this was 15 years ago. He just liked to paint. And I think it was a couple months ago, I was like, scrolling Instagram. All of a sudden I see a reel pop up, and this guy's just sitting there showing his painting, like his artwork. It's just a regular guy painting. And he shows artwork. He has like 100 and 200,000 followers. This guy's like making like 6 figures or more just selling his paint. I'm like, this guy didn't know anything about anything. I don't think he even knew
formal
business.
training.
No formal training, and literally like
art training.
And he's a pretty regular guy, I would say. But like all he did was just like, I like to paint. Okay, then he just posted Instagram, hey, I painted this. I like this. Someone's like, I'll buy it. Okay. Then the next day, hey, I like this painting too. What do you guys think? I'll buy that. Great. He didn't have anything like, well, I have to hit this quota by this week. I have to paint 10 more photos. He was just like, I like this painting. Someone's like, I like that painting. Okay.
I'll pay you for that painting.
I'll pay. Okay. It's like, just be that guy. Go in the gym. Okay, I got gym today. All right. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to go as hard as I can on that. Go home. I eat till I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied now. Okay, that's it. Be that simple with it. Because the consistency of you doing that, also you look back and be like, you don't have to overthink it, because you become paralysis by analysis. You're almost like overthinking it to the point where you're going to stress yourself out about it, and you have to be so rigid. It's like, just go, hey, what do I got to do? I go to the gym and do 3x5. Okay, do your best 3x5. Nice. Great. Good day. And go home. All right,
the profound thing about that is like you could do that for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Right? It's sustainable. You will not see the progress you think you want to see. I got to get cut in 8 weeks by summer. Yeah. But you can do it for your whole life. Right?
It's the simplest thing, but the biggest difference was it was just consistent.
Yeah.
That guy was just painting. He's like, I like to paint. He would paint every day. And then he'd be like, hey, what do you guys think of this painting? Okay, I'll buy it. Nice. I don't think he planned it.
What do you think about this? I like it. Do you like enough to buy it? Sure. Okay.
Okay. Does it again. Oh, look. And he just kept doing it. Kept doing it. And all of a sudden it just grew. It's like I don't think he thought anything of it. It was just, I'm just going to do this thing I like doing all the time as best I can. And then if it works, great. He just kept doing it anyway. It was like the most simplistic, juvenile thing. I like this. I'm just keep doing this. And it just took off from there. Yeah. Hey, I'm eating till I'm satisfied. Hey, this is a good meal. I like this meal. Nice. I'm satisfied with this meal. Great. Keep eating that meal. A dog eats the same food every day. It's fine.
Yeah. We eat pretty much the same 5 meals in rotation every week too, and like during the weeknights. And every Sunday we're going for groceries, or I'm going, or Kayla's going. Like, anything different you want this week? And we kind of will just laugh like, no, pretty happy. And like, back to the original question, it's kind of, you got the client or the athlete or whoever's listening, the listener, I guess, has to keep in mind different ways that we can get stronger. I think, and that will give them a little bit more peace of mind or a little bit more direction. Because first thing, like the nature of the question is kind of funny. Like, should I just be trying to maintain? It's like, well, what, are you just going to try less hard? Yeah. Right? Like, remember the mechanisms, like, if you're going to be on we'll call it a cut or a self-imposed caloric deficit, unfortunately, it's really almost impossible to strictly lose fat. You're going to probably lose a little bit of muscle. We know that, right? If you're on like a surplus or a bulk, people like to call it, unfortunately, it's probably impossible that you're just going to put on straight muscle. You'll probably put on a little bit of fat too, right? So, like you said before, mass is gas. If I go in that bulk and I put on some muscle and I get stronger, that's great, right? We know a bigger muscle has the potential to be stronger, but again, there might be some fat added in the process. And then vice versa the other way. But the other half, so that's kind of that hardware, right? We just had the class here the other day on the field trip, and we were teaching them about, again, like getting those bigger muscles. That's kind of like upgrading your iPhone. You have an iPhone 10, you go buy the iPhone 26 or whatever's out there now. Like, that's like a hardware update, right? But the other aspect we could still work on is that software, right? So these people that are maybe on these kind of cut phases, so to speak, like, yeah, you might be losing, ideally primarily fat. You might unfortunately lose a little bit of muscle. That's just the nature of the game. But you can still actually get that iOS update by enhancing the efficiency of your nervous system through those lifts, right? So continuing to train, like you said, giving 100% of whatever you have in the tank, right? It might be less than it was because you're in a cut, but giving 100% of what you have left, you can still actually increase the efficiency of your nervous system and that signal from the brain and spinal cord to the muscles telling them what to do, and you actually can still get, at least maintain or get stronger. But again, it's going to come down to still high levels of effort, though. Like, even though the result might be kind of maintenance or like slower gains in strength, your effort is not what you think is like a maintenance level of effort, because then it's really going to slide in the wrong direction.
I think it's just it's literally just us putting these things in our mind.
Yeah.
It really is those things in our mind. Like, for example, if you're going to a cut, and really your cut's just going to be like eating healthier food, but you're still satisfied. It's like the quality of the food. you might have more energy. You might be able to give more effort. You might sleep better. You might be actually like having more juice in the tank in the caloric deficit than you actually might think.
Right.
It's like literally like what's, and again, maybe it's not the deficit you need to lose fat, but if it's a deficit compared to what you're eating before, like you might still be in a surplus. Let's say, I don't know, let's just take an example. Let's say you're eating 3,000 calories. Okay, you're in a surplus. All of a sudden you're like, well, I have to go on a deficit. It's like, okay, well, for you, like you might cut down to 2,500 calories, but that still might be a surplus from what you need to lose fat, but it's still less than what you're consuming. It's like, okay, well then that's still more energy that you're going to have. I think it's just how you frame it in your mind and make peace with it. It's like, I'm eating healthier now. Okay, great. You might be in a deficit at that point. You might even know you're in a deficit and be in a deficit, and then you still have more energy, everything else. But all of a sudden, I think it's just you labeling as like, I'm in a deficit now. Therefore,
my effort has to be in a deficit too.
You're gonna think and act differently because you put this label on yourself. I'm a deficit. It's like people that cut weight. It's like, we have to cut weight now. All of a sudden, you cut weight. All of a sudden, you start. It drains you a little bit. Yes, it's naturally going to drain you because you're cutting weight. But I think more of it's the mental tax. Like, you know you're cutting weight.
Yeah.
So you act like you're cutting weight. You act like someone who's cutting weight. It's almost like a weird placebo, I think. It's just like...
But still, that's a good point, too, because, again, I think people often think, like, I'm going on a caloric cut, so automatically my strength is in the tank, but there's weight class sport athletes all the time who are cutting, who are still maintaining or improving their strength, too, because they can't afford not to, right? So, like, if you need an example to look to, like, I'm sure you're not hitting, like, the biggest PRs ever while you're in, like a crazy cut right before a meet, but I'm saying, like, all the time you're maintaining your weight, you're still getting stronger.
Yeah, it's...
Right? Like, you don't need to be, my point being, I guess, you don't need to be in every wrestling season to get stronger, going up like 2 weight classes and then cutting down 3 weight classes to get back. Like, no, it's like you're still getting stronger all the time while you're not in some crazy bulk every year, so to speak, bulking, cutting, being on the hamster wheel, right?
Yeah, again, I think it's like looking at the most simplistic way. It's like, look at your life right now as a whole. What you're eating, how your activity is, just the most basic thing. Again, it's just to master the basics. And then make peace mentally. Like, let go of these constraints and boxes and labels that are naturally tied to a behavior.
Yeah.
Really, like, I'm a caloric deficit. What do people in a caloric deficit typically do and act like? Well, I heard they're tired. I heard their strength goes down. Okay, so that's not really helping effort when it comes to in the gym. And all of a sudden, if you just said you're in a caloric surplus, what, you're just going to start like pumping out reps in the gym like it's crazy all of a sudden? It's like, no, I think it's how you frame it in your mind. It's like we put these guardrails up. And a big part of it's just going to be keeping it as simple as possible. Like, hey, you're eating better than what you were before. If you enjoy that, keep doing that. You're going to the gym every day, great. Just whatever effort you got in the tank, just keep doing it. We know progress isn't linear. It's going to be up, down, sideways, fucking loop-de-loop, everything in between, right? But it's just the fact that you're stacking those days regular that's going to lead to long-term benefits anyway, right? These arbitrary timelines, these arbitrary numbers, they're just things that are made up in our mind. Right? There are biochemical aspects of their science. That's proven, yes, but there's no way of knowing if you're there. There's no way of knowing if you're there.
Right.
Zero. There's a way you could probably guarantee it. If you don't eat anything for the day, you could probably guess you're in a negative.
Yeah.
Right? You could overeat till you want to puke. You could probably guess you're in a surplus. Those are the extreme examples of, yes, I've hit the thing that I said I was going to do, but that's not sustainable either. So then you're left back at square one anyway. It's just arbitrary shit.
You know what's kind of ironic too? Like, one thing that's a really good strategy, if you're someone who has struggled with weight and you've maybe never been on any type of structured eating plan, oftentimes a really good strategy at the start will be like, no, like volume eating. I want you to eat as much as you can. But when I say eat as much as you can, it's like vegetables, lean meats, right? Like, a lot of time before we ever would have anybody count calories, do portions, like, I know Tim Riley was talking about this on Coach 'em Up too. Like, he's like, good luck overeating like chicken breast. Good luck overeating like broccoli and salads and stuff like that. Point being, so you have someone that maybe has struggled with their weight and they really are looking to start losing, and you put them on one of these eating, kind of plans where you're like, I want you to overeat as much as you can, vegetables, lean proteins, reasonable amounts of starches and carbs. They probably naturally have put themselves in a deficit where people naturally think, okay, like, I'm going to be like low energy now, but they're eating like more vitamins than ever. They're eating better, like more protein, better balanced carbs than ever. Like, they probably will feel actually amazing at first. So the reality is, like you said, with the self-imposed guardrails and stuff, like, why don't you actually try eating in a surplus as far as amount and volume of some of these healthier foods? You'll probably feel better than ever.
Yeah, it just always circles back to just what are you currently eating, right? What's something small you can improve that's sustainable, and be okay. Just find something that you enjoy and just go ahead, run it until it doesn't work, and just keep it simple. Act like a donkey. Pretend that okay, blinders are on, here, good. That's good enough. Just do that every day. and see what happens.
Yeah.
See what happens. You know what I mean? Like, there's guys that are lifting weights that are jacked and strong, have no idea what they're doing with lifting weights, but they're doing something right and it's working.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's just literally them stacking bricks every day. Like, it's not even the last thing we talked about. It can be that simple. Okay, you want to lose weight? Okay, just change something on your plate that's healthier. Great, go ahead. Just keep doing that. Be the dog. Just keep eating the same food every day. At least you know, like, hey, I like that food. It's got balance. This. I'm satisfied with it. Keep eating it until you get sick of it. Then find another healthy meal and get sick of that too.
Right.
Just keep cycling back and forth. They just run that for like 3 months and see what happens.
Right.
It could be that simple. You know, to then dissect the science of it, it's going to be like, well, yeah, you can, and you can take a fine-tooth comb, and then you can become very neurotic about it. But does that get us any closer we have to get to? Probably not. So
Right.
you can, but should you? Probably not. I don't think it's necessary for most people, right? And there's people that count calories that are doing well. Great, keep doing it. If it works for you, keep doing it. But I think for most people, it's just
It becomes so discouraging, I feel like.
it becomes discouraging.
So well-intentioned, but it becomes so discouraging.
You know, if you look at the same lens of lifting, it's like, well, I have to hit 200 kilo squat in like 6 months. You know, I'm only at 160. It's like,
When's the last time you put 40 kilos on your squat in? What did you say, 6 months? Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, it's just go in the gym every day and then fucking just try to move the needle.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, like celebrate the process, not the outcome.
Yeah.
Celebrate the fact that you hit your X number of sessions per week that were planned. Celebrate the fact that you hit your X number of healthy meals in the week, right? If you have simple math, 3 meals a day, 7 days, you have 21 meals. Like, celebrate the fact that you hit like 18 or 19 really healthy meals when maybe before like most of them were not healthy, so to speak, right? Like, celebrate the process, and then the chips will fall where they lie. The weight will be what it is, the body comp will be what it is, but celebrate the process instead of the outcome.
I think it just ties back. Yeah, people, they get stuck on this outcome, and I get it because that's North Star. But humans by nature, they're not. Like, where do they get joy from? They don't get joy from just getting stuff, right? They don't get joy from having
Right.
things, right? If someone said, "Hey, here's a gold medal. You're an OUA champion. You didn't do anything." Well, then, do you feel happy? Like you got what you wanted. I'm an
Yeah.
OUA champion. You have it.
Right.
You have the stuff. But are you satisfied? No.
Yeah, definitely
Why?
not, yeah.
Why though? Right? Like, this is the important part of the process. People don't get joy or not satisfied by having something or even just being given something or
Right.
getting something. People find joy and satisfaction in earning something, getting something. Right? If you use the example for people that kids, sometimes their parents will buy them a car.
Yeah.
Right?
I was gonna say, kids are born into like crazy wealth, and they're just given everything. Like, they're almost always like so unfulfilled, right?
Right? So, parents want to buy their kids a car. Well-intentioned, they're like, well, I don't want my kid to struggle. I want to make sure that they get the things they want, da-da-da-da. But remember, it's not the satisfaction of having something. Having something doesn't bring you satisfaction. People get satisfaction from earning and getting something on their own. And there's a reason for that, because think about the process itself. The process that you have to go and earn something. Because again, if someone just said right now, like, hey, here's the national championship medal. You have it. You got what you wanted. You were the national champion.
Yeah.
But it's
How
like
many games did I play to get it? Zero.
zero,
So
right?
the
So
fuck, like, yeah.
it's
So
there's
true.
the thirst is not quenched. So someone could be like, the kid could be like, no, I'm gonna go buy my own car. It's like, why waste your money? Why waste your money? Like, you can get the car, you can save your money for something else. But you're missing the point. The point is that person learns character. They learn more about themselves going through the process. And then when they finally get the thing they've been striving for, right? There's a satisfaction because it's not the thing that they got.
Right.
It's who they became along the way
Right.
that changed their structure, their archetype, their avatar. Their whole ecosystem changed because of how they acted to get what they wanted to get.
Right.
Right? It's that character development. People that strive for a certain number in the gym, there's a reason people come in here with a certain ambition and then it changes. It's because it's not the fucking ambition that's the thing.
Right.
It's who they've become along the way striving for the thing. And that thing can change because they found the satisfaction of who they became along the way, what they've become along the way. They've become the person that is consistent. They've become the person that can do hard things, that's gas station ready, the person that is overcoming objections to get to one step closer. It's not the actual fucking thing. Having something doesn't satisfy you. Getting something doesn't satisfy you. It's earning it's something that's going to get you that satisfaction. It's the process of who you've become along the way that makes you satisfied. You look back fondly on that and be like, man, look what I'm capable of. And then you have this unrelenting pursuit of something. it's like a dog chasing a car, right? Like he's always going to chase the car,
Right.
right? But
If
he's
the car
happy.
just drove up to him, like it would not be that.
He gets bored. He's like,
Yeah.
it's like, well, and that's not to say don't have ambitions. The point being is like have a North Star, something worth striving for, but then it's you chasing that. That's going to actually build the character that you're going to become. That's going to be able to sustain that.
Right.
That's going to actually be the person that can tolerate things. Versus if someone just gives you a car, it's like, yeah, you have a car, but like you don't appreciate it for a certain reason. There's a reason for that. There's a psychology of that, right? And that goes for weight loss goals or mass goals or strength goals or athletic endeavors. It's the same shit.
Welcome to Iron Performance Center, Niagara's home for real personal and performance training. We're a community obsessed with building durable, explosive, game-ready humans. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just training that works. From athletes chasing scholarships, to pros chasing championships, to regular people who just want to feel strong, move well, and stay built for real life. If you're willing to work, you're our people. Our system is simple: smart programming, elite coaching, and a culture that pushes you to levels you didn't know you had. With modern technology and principles-based programming, we track your progress, teach you movement skills, and give you every tool you need to perform when it matters most in whatever arena you call home. Iron Performance Center, because performance matters.
Right? It's literally reframing the process as it's not just showing up every day. The trends are greater than the moments, right? Those moments compound over time. It's what those moments do time and time again. They shape your character differently. You become someone different. That's why people that, they initially get started, they get those first couple weeks under the belt and all of a sudden become second nature. There's reasons for that. Their character has shifted, their ecosystem, their life is reframed. They're becoming someone different along the way. They may not realize it yet, but they're becoming someone different. It's become habitual. It's becoming something they're proud of. They don't negotiate anymore. That's character being created. That's positive stress, positive character being created, right? And that's what makes it great.
That's like Steve was talking about, the remyelination literally of your brain, of your nervous system when you overcome hard things. And literally you're building that mental muscle, right?
Yeah, versus people that have those ambitions and then they think so hard about how to get there without actually doing anything. It's because you haven't actually, there's no trials or tribulations that have shaped your character. You're the same person you are right now, thinking about the thing you want to do and not doing it.
Right.
Versus just taking the first initiative, take the messy action, just do the thing. Be the naive person that doesn't know how to get there and just think, well, I got to eat better here and I got to train hard there. Okay, do that. Just do that. Don't be so caught up in the details yet. Like when you get to that point, the hairs can be split if necessary. But for most people, you don't have to go that deep down the rabbit hole to figure it out. You just got to keep doing the thing.
Right.
Right? Like it can be an inch deep and a mile wide in that respect. It doesn't have to be like, So, I think, and that goes for athletes too. And I think parents of athletes can maybe relate to that too. It's, you're always trying to say, well, I have to jump an inch higher. I have to swing harder. I have to cut faster. It's like, okay, just start doing those things along the way. And like, that could be your North Star. But the fact that you're striving for those things and who you become along the way training for those things are going to be more indicative of your ability to perform when you need to anyway, because you've tolerated it.
Right.
Your whole environment has shifted, right? You become hungry, you become passionate because of that pursuit of something, not the something itself. It's irrelevant.
Absolutely. I remember when I was getting.
Bullshit.
What was that?
It sounded woke as fuck.
No, it's true though. Like I remember when I was getting recruited, like however many visits I went on, there was like a certain number of schools that were like, yeah, you could come in and start right away, as if it was like a good. Like an enticing thing, and like that really never appealed to me for the exact reasons you're talking about. A, I was like, I want to come in and learn. B, I was like, I want to actually come in and earn something, right? Like, let me sit behind a starter who's in 4th or 5th year for like a year or two and learn, and then I can really earn my keep and kind of come in and be ready to play. Like, there were certain schools that were like, yeah, we don't have anybody that covers the bear. Like, sign right now, you're the guy. And I was like, I know where you're coming from, probably thinking that's enticing to like a high school kid, but in my head, it actually didn't really do me anything. Like, didn't do me any favors, that was like not really a good sales point for me, because I was like, I'm not wired that way. I never was raised that way. I've never been I've never been that way, just having something handed to me, right? So I know exactly what you mean.
Well, it reflects back to today's culture, really.
Yeah.
Like that, everyone talks about this instant gratification. Social media is huge, right? They want the likes, they want the dopamine hit. The problem is it becomes so desensitized to it, right?
That's like go viral overnight. You can get 1 million views tonight, which is like fucked. Like that's like so different than the world we grew up in.
Yeah, but it's just like the dog chases cars. If the dog caught a car every second.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he's gonna start looking at the car, touch the car, go back, bored. Like the dog,
he would stop chasing them probably.
Stop chasing cars. Like, what's the point? I have all the cars I want. Right? It's more just like, again, to go tying back to today's society. It's like that instant gratification all the time. remember we talked about it. It's not having the thing that's going to bring you joy and satisfaction. It's you earning the thing, right? And becoming someone different because you're chasing something. And to have this championship syndrome that's created by, you know, institutions and everything else because you're the guy, you're this person, we want to recruit you, all this stuff, and that's well and good. Like it's nice to be wanted in that realm.
Yeah.
But to teach, you know, someone like, yes, go to a place where, that's why I think we talk to kids about, you know, their post-secondary endeavors. It's going to be go to a place where you feel you can get the education that is going to satisfy you. You're going to learn a lot, right? You can develop, right? You have ambitions. Can this coach make you better? Can your team make you better? Not just play for the team, but can your team make you a better player? Can your coach make you a better player, right? And if that's the place, then that's where you should go because you're going to be put into this process now of becoming the person that's supposed to be better versus just you're the person that's going to go out there and start right away. Your spot's given to you. It's like, well, that sounds nice, and you can brag about that, and you can post about that, and you can, you know, everyone's going to high five you on that. But you're the same character that you were going into it. Nothing's changed, right? Nothing has been earned. So, you know, knowing that's like the psychology of human behavior and typically of satisfaction, you know, it's an interesting point with just how the whole sports realm is. Everyone's trying to, you know, go, I want junior A. Yeah, junior A is better than junior B. It's like, yes, on paper it is better. It doesn't mean the actual team is better. It doesn't mean it's better for you.
Some junior B teams would ironically like slap some junior A teams.
It's not like the team, it's not like the league is better. It's not the person, it's like, is it better for you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure like you took a guy who's a junior B and put him in the NHL, like, yes, it's better. Like, I'm sure you'll learn a lot, but is it better for you right now? Probably not, because you're not going to learn anything because you can't speak the language yet.
Right.
You're not able to comprehend some of those things or go to the speeds necessary to develop.
Right.
Right. Like there are hierarchies to this. You can't go from the base and all of a sudden just jump to the top. You got to there are levels of income. People can there's different ways and different speeds at which certain people go. Some people can do a really steep curve, but it's very hard to just go like this and shoot up 9 degrees directly vertical. Right. There has to be like a runway for progression. So it's like, what does that look like going from the high school to club to varsity athletics level? So I don't know. I think it's hard to reinforce that because I get it. People want, I think it goes back to what they say they want. I want that so bad. It's like, yeah, but you could have, like, if I gave that to you right now, like I said, same thing, like you want to be a national champion. What if the commissioner of U Sports or the commissioner of the NHL said, here's the Stanley Cup. You're the Stanley Cup champion right now.
Yeah. On
paper, like let's say everyone in the world believes, like, yeah, you are the Stanley Cup champion. Yes, you won the, the Heisman. Here you go.
Must be hollow.
Yeah, you would not take yourself seriously.
Right.
Even though, like, let's say the rest of the world was completely ignorant to how the circumstances were. Let's say everyone actually believed that you were the champion of the world, the Olympic champion, but you know you weren't. But it's not the fact that the label says you are, but you're not. And you're not happy with it. Why are you not happy with it? You got what you wanted, but you're not happy with it.
Right.
Why? You know why. Because at some point in your mind, when you envision yourself becoming that, you envision the Rocky movie that was leading up to it.
And then you just skip that part.
You just skip that part.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quench your thirst anymore. There's no moment that's going to satisfy that because you didn't do exactly deep down what you know you had to do. Right? So people say they want those things, which goes back to all of our previous talks. They say they want those things, but are their actions lining up to it? And even if they were given that thing, they would still not be satisfied with it because it doesn't line up with the envision of how they were supposed to get it. Right? Which is the whole point.
Right.
They didn't become someone different. They envisioned their life being different when they achieved that thing. But the ironic part is achieving the thing is not going to make your life different.
Right.
It's you striving for the thing that's going to make you different. Your character changes. That's the whole point. So that's my TED Talk.
No, it's true though. It's as much if not more about the process than it is the destination. Health journeys, which hopefully will be like lifelong.
It is
athletic endeavors, right?
But people talk about the process like
because it's crazy. Sorry to cut you out, but it's so true. Like the more I'm thinking about it, it's so true. How many times, Mario's been in this week. It's nice to have him back, and like me and him are reflecting more on some of the training sessions we've had than like this guy played like 6 years in the CFL, right? And like we'll talk about that stuff, and that's great. But we're talking almost more sometimes about remember that one session we had where we this lift or like remember this training camp that we had to like suffer through. Like training camp is the worst. Not I'm sure every sport it's like the worst period of time of the year. And everybody dreads it, but then again, like some sick part of you also loves it because there's like that shared suffering, and there's that knowledge of like, man, not a lot of people could probably even survive what I'm doing right now, right? So like, it's kind of funny, like as much as we might reflect back on the medals, like you said, and the championships, and like his hit for him, like draft day and playing, freaking, I don't know, 6 years in the CFL. Like, I'm sure he's so proud of that, as he should be. But we still talk equally as much about like some random summer training sessions we had. Remember that one Max Out Friday we did? Remember that one first time you cleaned this or squatted that? Like, or that one practice where they named you the starter? Like, we would reflect as much, if not more, on those process days and moments as we would the actual big outcome wins.
Yeah, people define the process. That's it. The process is more important than the destination. Yeah, okay, it makes sense. But then what is the process? What makes it so, like, what is a process? Like, why pursue anything? Let's say someone wanted to, have the career, have the money, have the house, have the wife, all that shit. People that have those things, they're not satisfied. But like, that's the point. The point being is, like, if you had all those things right now, what would you do? Right? Why are you not happy if someone just gave you all those things? Right? It's like you can do anything you want. Why are you not happy with it? Because at some point, the process, whole point being was you overcame something. You had to overcome something. You had to change who you are to get the thing, right? When you picture getting the national championship, it's, people can give you the medal and you envisioned it feeling a certain way because of the whole point was deep down you envisioned you overcoming something you didn't think you could.
Right.
And and that's just a moment. Remember, it's not about the moments, right? And you won't even recognize that moment that leads up to the next moment that you want, right? That whole outcome thing, national championship, that's a moment that you envision feeling a certain way. But that moment is dictated by these other moments that you don't, that's moments of overcoming something that is supposed to be really challenging in your own mind. But the difference is you can envision that moment of satisfaction, you can paint a picture to it, but you can't predict any of the moments that are going to lead to that moment, the moments of overcoming, right? Like that, those process moments. You don't know when those are going to come. You don't know how they're going to feel because they're foreign to you, right? So to see that along the way, the whole point of the process is overcoming. The process is change. The process is overcoming something that you haven't done before or have to do repeatedly. And you don't predict those moments. You can't predict when they are. You can't predict how you're going to feel. You can't predict anything of those things. But at some point, you vision your mind being satisfied because you're able to overcome those things. You just don't know what they are or what degree they are or when they're going to happen or how you're going to feel about them.
Right.
So, I think people say the process. Again, I go back to there's a very romantic picture being painted of not only the outcome, but also of the process.
Right.
They have this little highlight reel in their mind of what they're going to, like, I'm going to train so hard, I'm going to do this, I'm going to come home like, I worked hard. It's never like that. It's never like that. It's going to be the most mundane, boring shit you pretty much have to do every time. You're going to do the same practice at the same time, at the same location, with the same people.
Getting yelled at the same way, giving the
same
coaching cues.
Same thing. And you're not going to recognize it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you have to keep showing up. And then eventually, when you do get that moment of national championship that you've earned, then you'll recognize that every moment along the way in that process was overcoming. Like, I showed up at that practice. Like, I didn't want to go to that practice. It was the same drill, same thing. I really did not want to fucking do that, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And you didn't in that moment of overcoming. You could have fucking done 1,000 things, but you chose not to for some deep down reason. You just kept doing it. But you never can pinpoint it until after it's done. So when people talk about the process, it sounds romantic.
And oftentimes it is romanticized. Like, if you look up your favorite athlete, so-and-so off-season training YouTube, there's going to be like a sick like montage and like cool music and like cuts and transitions. Like, watch, even just take that same video, mute it, and take out the transitions. You're going to be like, fuck, that looks boring. Oh, they're just lifting weights and jumping and sprinting and doing conditioning and running and whatever the hell it is. Like, it's going to look boring, but because that's what it takes, right? But like you said, it gets romanticized and they put all these flashy effects and all these like kind of cool music and transitions and make it look like rah rah. But like think of how that person feels in that moment, physically, mentally, exhausted probably, right? Training their ass off. Mentally, like you said, exhausted. Oh, I got to do this again for the 100th time this year already. It's only March, like, but that is what it takes.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like the physically, mentally exhausted. It could just be like, I have to go to film at this time and just pay attention.
Yeah.
It could be like that seems the most boring, mundane shit, but you're overcoming your objection.
Knowing you're gonna get flamed again.
Right? Like you're overcoming that objection of like, I have to sit here and pay attention. I have to sit here and be specific. Like that is no different than school. Like you go to school every day in the same subject. You're doing the same, exercise, your same drills, your same equations and problems and worksheets, just to different degrees of difficulty. It's almost like those minute scaling of increased difficulty that you might not realize you're overcoming, but that's what it is. But it goes back to the process being, it's like you have this highlight moment that you think is going to satisfy you, but the moments that are going to get you there that are actually going to satisfy you are things you don't recognize yet, and you don't know when, how, to what degree. And that's the whole point.
Right.
Just keep doing the things, the most boring, mundane things regularly over time, giving the best effort you can with whatever you have in the tank that day. Don't negotiate and just do it. Be that guy from the very beginning who's fucking painting. right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's days he didn't fucking care to fucking wake up and paint. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. He didn't care. He's like, I'm gonna paint today. He
Yeah.
just painted. And he's like, I'm gonna paint tomorrow too. Why? I like painting. Doesn't mean he likes painting every day.
Yeah.
He just paints. You know what I mean? Guys that fucking it's no different than people have, the dream job. I don't know. Let's say you're fucking CEO of Google. I get to work at Google. You think you're gonna like being the CEO of Google every day? No.
Right.
But for some reason, you keep showing up. Why? It's like it's not love what you do or love. It's learn to love what you do, because at the end of the day, you're doing what you love, right? Learn to love what you do. There's be days you fucking hate it. That's okay. You still do it. Why? Because there's a bigger picture in mind here. The guy that paints, maybe doesn't want to paint all the time. Maybe he fucking hates painting some days. But you know what? He deep down he enjoys it, so he just keeps doing it. And next thing you know, fucking be the guy that paints. Be that painter from the beginning of the story.
Painter.
Be the fucking guy that just paints for the sake of painting.
Paint your own canvas.
You know what I mean? Like,
Title episode.
use that metaphor for every fucking else. Be the guy that just fucking paints that shit and just fucking got like $1 million. He just painted, man. That's all he did. But deep down, I'm sure he fucking didn't want to all the time. Right? But that's the process. Just keep doing the shit. I don't know. Seems pretty mundane, but yeah. That whole conversation about calories is kind of funny. And then we transitioned to talking about the Arctic Winter Games that are happening.
I saw the balance with the
one arm reach.
What the heck is
one
going
arm
on with
reach,
that?
and I always find it hilarious because again,
have you heard of this till this week? Because I never heard of this
no,
Arctic Games. Okay.
No, I just saw it on
I was like, am I
CBC
out of the
Sports.
loop or what?
CBC Sports, which fuck CBC, but CBC Sports. I saw them. I think it's like the Arctic Games. I think it's like Nunavut, Yukon, Northwest Territories.
Yeah.
But I just find it funny because they're always breaking records.
Yeah.
They had something called like the knuckle walk, which apparently is supposed to like mimic seals on the ice. But anyway, it's like
Got hurt though, eh?
It's like some guy in like a push-up position on his knuckles, and you're just hopping. Right? He's
good.
hopping around a basketball court. It literally looks like a high school gym with some bleachers and people watching the Arctic Games. This guy's hopping in a circle. He's like, oh good. He's like, new world record, 217 feet. He's like, oh, I broke my previous world record of 207 feet. I'm like,
and my two knuckles.
Yeah,
that's pretty tough though. I gotta give it to him. That's pretty crazy.
I'm not saying it's not hard.
No, it's
kudos to you. My question is like, who else is doing it to break? Who's like? It's like the Guinness World Record for like, I don't know, snorting raisins but through your left nostril while rubbing your head. I don't fucking know. It feels like you're just coming up with something. It's this arbitrary shit. But I'm like, okay, I guess that's sports in general. Really, somebody just said they have to paint a rectangle on the ground and put a net over here, and you have to kick a ball. Kick a ball, but you can't touch it with your hands. Sport. Yeah. Right, so it's the same concept. I'm like, okay, this guy's like,
that one just caught on more, arguably.
Yeah,
more people wanted to do it.
So some guys like, I don't think I want to hop around a gym with my knuckles anymore. But then you saw some other ones like the standing reach, where it's like the balance on one hand, only on your hand, and then you got to reach with the other hand. And then there's like the 2-foot kicks. You have to jump from 2 feet, hit this ball that's in the air, like this little like tether ball type thing. They just change the height of it, jump and kick it as high as you can. Kid broke the world record. I'm like, well, who else is just jumping and kicking their toes and landing on 2 feet? Another one was the neck tug of war. So you're almost like you're just on your hands and knees with
like a bear crawl almost.
Not really a bear crawl, but like kind of. But like you're on your hands and knees to start, and like there's a band around your head, like the back of your head, and then facing your opponent, the band's around their head too, or like the tether, and you just have to tug their body across the line. There's like the neck tug of war.
Oh, dude, have you seen this new? Sorry,
I saw. Okay, go ahead.
There's this new one that keeps popping up. I think it's like more in like Australia or something. Like two guys will literally line up like say about probably 20 yards away from each other. Maybe what I'll show it to you after. I can't remember what it's called, and they will literally just run straight at each other, no ball, no nothing, and just blow each other up. Have you seen this?
It's like those slap events.
It's kind of like that with a run up, dude. Like you gotta look it up after. Like,
what's the point of this? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like, there's no way you're making enough money to put your life on the line like that.
Who do you train for? Like, how do you get into that? Like, hey, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna be that.
I'm gonna play rugby without a ball.
Pretty much. Like, what do you gotta do? I'm just gonna run this guy as hard as I can. All right, I gotta train for this.
Man, it's wild.
There's one event. There's Arctic Games. There's like the stick pull. So it's like you're back to back, and they grease up this wooden stick, and you gotta try to pull the stick out from the person behind you.
No chalk allowed.
No chalk. It's just like grease the pole and you gotta pull it. I'm like,
yeah, you have crazy grip. But see, at least all of these, like I can kind of see like there's something to it. Like the one is weird with the balance because I feel like if you just have longer arms, you're just gonna win. Like there's no. Yeah. Like, at least the other one you jump. Okay, hey, you got to be a better jumper and kicker. Cool. Like this one, arguably, you got more grip strength and more maybe bicep and I don't know chest strength. You're pulling it like. The knuckle one, you gotta be having that mental muscle's gotta be pretty tough. But the one with the balance, like other than balancing yourself, I saw with the hand. I feel like if you just have longer arms, you're just gonna win though. There's no like jump.
You could argue that for other sport. If you're 7 foot playing basketball, you're probably
no. You can still suck. There's no way. You can still misunderstand the game. You can still get ran way faster. Like you can get your ankles broken by somebody crossing you up. Like you can still be bad. You have an innate advantage, yeah, sure. but you can still suck. Like this one, I just kind of really feel like, other than the strength like prerequisite that you got to hold yourself up, which is pretty hard. I just feel like if you have long arms, you're just gonna win. Like,
oh, maybe, but then
because there's no jump aspect.
Maybe the pre-aspect being like, well, your arms are longer, so you can't really balance in the one arm as much if you're shorter center of mass.
So.
If you had to argue it, either way, the whole point being is like, I don't know where they come up with these games. I just find it funny because like there's such niche games or sports.
Yeah,
they're just setting world records every year. Like, it's the same guy setting the same world record. Because I don't know who else he's like. How many guys are there going to be doing it?
Yeah, who else is willing to?
And who's training for? Like, all right, I got to get ready for the knuckle jumps across 270 feet.
Just like out in the forest, like punching trees, to like shin hardening, but like knuckle
You're
hardening.
like, all right, I guess we'll just do push-up iso hold from our knuckles, and then I guess we'll just do like band-assisted like deep range plyo push-ups. So you can hopefully travel further per knuckle jump.
Kind of sick, honestly.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of funny watching. Some of the greased up stick pull thing fucking got me.
You gotta have a crazy grip.
Fucking try to yeet the thing, the neck tug of war. I was like, okay, that's different. I was like, well, you know, it's a whole of the world out there, I guess. But anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. You know, I guess it's very unique. I guess it's like the Arctic Highland Games, you want to call it like that.
Because they obviously don't have as many resources up there and stuff. Like, totally respect that. But like, do some sports where like wrestle. You know, like where you don't need like any equipment, you just need each other and obviously the mat. But like, you know, you think like competing stuff like that, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think the Highland Games in Scotland were pretty funny. Like, hey, take this log, throw it.
Yeah.
All right, boulder.
Like caber toss.
Yeah, just hey, see this boulder, pick it up, throw it. Okay.
All the while wearing a kilt, dude. It's pretty sick, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's ironic. Those ones sound cool. Like, yeah, pick this rock up, throw it. Yeah. Someone's like, all right, knuckle jump, knuckle walk. You're like,
ouch. You're just like, ow.
You're like, what? No, I'd rather pick the rock up.
Yeah.
Let me grab this tree trunk and give it a try.
Jeez.
But anyway, I think that's a funny. We'll leave it there for this episode. The whole smorgasbord of topics on that one. We covered a wide range.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. So
follow up the process, and the outcome will take care of itself. And if it doesn't, at least you'll be happy with what you did. You'll come up better on the other side.
Change the character. That's the whole point of the process. Overcome to change character, become someone different. And then, of course, work on your knuckle hops and your 2-foot touches.
Go outside, touch grass, and punch trees.
Performance Matter Podcast. We're on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. As always, you can like, subscribe, share with your friends. And keep an eye on our podcast coming up. We're taking a bit of a hiatus. This is episode 60. So we've done 6 episodes in a row. We haven't missed 60 weeks. So I think you can almost call it a season if you want. But take a bit of a hiatus on some of these things. But keep an eye on the podcast for new episodes that come out soon. All right, till next time, guys. Peace.